Hey YouTube, this is your girl and I am here with a more relaxed and chill video. Someone asked me, and I always love answering you guys' questions. I may not be able to answer or respond right away, so I like to come back in video form and talk to you guys about some of the questions that were asked of me. So recently someone asked me how I became a MAC makeup artist. Good question, long story. So let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to give you some history on me and everything and how I grew from a MAC to being a full-blown out professional makeup artist. So history on myself is ever since the age of 4 I have been drawing and painting. Color has been in my blood pretty much since I was born. I always say I like to see color differently. I look at certain colors and I like, oh, why did they pair that together? How it blends, I love color. Crayons, paint, color pencil. So I have an art background. High school, big on art. I think I started high school at the age of 13. I was in the advanced art classes ever since then. On the side, I took art classes at Pasadena Art Center at the age of 13. I was already taking my art college classes in Pasadena. And when I went off to college, I started college as an art major, and then it grew from art to animation and film. So I have my degree from Loyola Marymount University in film and animation, and my minor is fine arts in arts. So I have the painting background. I am a muralist. I have painted numerous murals throughout South Central Los Angeles at different elementary schools and preschools and high schools and things like that. I have just been painting and doing murals and drawing and sculpting and everything since I was little. So I always say that I just see things differently, and I just have like a natural talent when it comes to painting and just being very, very creative. So that's kind of like my history. Makeup wise, throughout high school, no, I did not wear makeup. The only time that I wore makeup is when it was demanded of us. I was a tall flagger in the band, and if our director, I think his name is Jesus, if he said we're going to competition and everyone has to look alike, everybody got to wear this lipstick, whatever, that was the only time that I really wore makeup. I was not the makeup girl in high school. I think I tried out the cheerleader and they had glitter and stuff on their face, and I'm like, what? No. So I was not that girl. I was the girl that was in Tall Flags. I was in Ebony Nation. I was in the art club, and I was a nerd, a geek. I wasn't the popular girl in high school whatsoever. So that's kind of like my background for makeup. I did not wear any makeup until I was early 20s. Now, going into makeup, going into MAC, I actually was working at Alpine Electronics, which is car audio. I was a technician, car audio, over the phone, talking to dealers on how to do installs for navigation systems and things like that. On my lunch break, I just so happened to stop at Nordstrom's, and I said I wanted a lip gloss. So my first MAC purchase was Per lip gloss and Desire lip gloss, and that started my MAC education. I love to research. You guys know I own my own company, things like that. I don't just dive in and start playing around with stuff. I research stuff. I was like, what is this? What is this MAC? Everyone was like, you don't know what MAC is? Oh my God, where have you been? So I researched MAC. I went to their website and I looked at all this stuff, and the things that like stood out to me the most was pigments. How I could take a pigment, because most people, when they get something, they stick to that one color. They get a pigment, they get a shade, and that's the color that it is, and that's what I must use it. Me being the creative person that I am, yeah, I got that pigment. I got like rose gold, and I got tan or melon, and then I got Pink Pearl, and I took it and I mixed it together to see what color that I could come up with. So it was like I'm able to create my own eyeshadow and stuff with these pigments, and that kind of it just clicked for me. Me just playing in it and researching it and everything kind of just clicked for me. So I found a MAC counter closer to my home, which was Max Fox Hills. There I met a lot of people. Anthony, who is the makeup artist for, oh my god, I forgot her name, Angela Bassett, Niecy Nash, things like that. I met Danielle Chinchilla, who's a celebrity makeup artist now. I met Angel Dobine. She is a manager of a MAC store and everything, and she does also celebrity clientele. And Danielle and Erica and just so many people there. I would come into the store, and me being the newbie that I am, I would ask a lot of questions. And I always gravitated towards the men. So I was asking Daniel and I was asking Anthony these questions and everything. And this is like early 2000s. So all of the stuff that MAC has now wasn't out then. So they had this palette, and it wasn't the little circle ones. It was a small compact palette. It had maybe 6 eyeshadows and 2 blushes in there. I picked that up. Anthony said, go home and play with it and come back and let me see what you did. So I took it as a challenge. I went home. I remember exactly the colors that I used. I used Satin Taupe, Vanilla, Embark, and Carbon. And I came up with this really, really cute smoke eye using those colors. I came back and I impressed Anthony. Anthony was like, come here, let me show you. I gotta show Angel and everything what you did. They were pretty impressed. So I said, oh, okay. I picked up just a few more things, because I wouldn't go balls to the walls or something that I wasn't, you know, still comfortable with wearing makeup. I went home, came back, came up with a whole new look using some of the same colors, but I added some more different colors, and they were impressed. And then they were like, you know what? You really know your colors. You really know how to blend. And I think that was key with me getting the job, is my eye for color and how to blend. So she said, well, what would you like to become a MAC makeup artist? And I'm like, okay, but I have a full-time job. She's like, oh yeah, but you can work here part-time. I said, okay. So I went home, I studied. I studied. I learned the brushes, what the brushes were for. Now, when I say studied, I went to the MAC website and I read, and I didn't, like, YouTube wasn't big and stuff back then. I don't even think there was YouTube or something. So I didn't have any videos to go watch and tutorials and things like that. I'd never even heard of YouTube. So I kind of trained myself, or I did a lot of research about it, everything at home. I remembered the brush numbers. I remembered what each brush was for and how I was supposed to use it. I studied why would someone prefer Studio Tech versus Studio Fix. I learned that the Fast Response eye cream had silicone in it, and me being the type of person that I am, I researched silicone and what it can be used for, and if it's used on the eye area, it'll make your eyeshadow adhere to it. So even before I even dove into the paints, back then it was in a tube, even before I dove into the paints, I knew, hey, I can use Fast Response eye cream on my eyelid and that can work as a base so it won't crease. So I mean, I figured out all of that stuff before I went for my interview. Now the interview process consisted of, you have to bring a model and you have to create a day to night look. You are timed. I believe back then it was 45 minutes, 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I have no idea what it is, what the audition process is like now. But for me, I remember exactly what I did. My boyfriend at the time, it was Mother's Day when I auditioned. And I don't have a lot of female friends, to be honest. I don't. I have more male friends than female friends. So my person that I had and was going to do the makeup on, she backed out. So my ex-boyfriend's mother or my boyfriend at the time, his mother said, okay, well, can you do my makeup? So we came from the LAX area all the way down to Pasadena, and she let me do her makeup. She is like a NC 50 brown skin lady, mature skin, so if just a little bit of, you know, black don't crack, so just minor wrinkles or creasings and stuff. So I was kind of thrown for a loop because the person that backed out like the last 20 minutes before the audition. So I remember that I did light brow, just a little bit of brow, fast response eye cream on the lid with, Floof wasn't out yet, so I want to say shroom or nylon, something like that, on the lid lightly with a light brush. They were watching me, so they wanted to know what brushes I was using. A light brush, because I just wanted to make that pop because of her eye shape. In the crease, I believe I used Embark Cranberry for the day look. Small, a little bit of kohl liner. I think it was Smolder at the time. That was hot. This was before they came out with engraved. Smolder. Mascara. Before Fiber Rich, because that was like one of my favorite ones. So before that, so just regular mascara. Studio Tech. Blush. I was at the Pro Store, so I think they had one called Cantaloupe, but it wasn't Cantaloupe. It was another one with more red tones in it. I haven't been to the Pro Store and used my Pro blushes in a minute, so forgive me on the blush. But the lipstick or the lip gloss that I used was Desire. Now they said, okay, take that look and turn it into a night look. So what I did is I darkened the brow a little bit more with back then, you know, they didn't have the pencil, the retractable, not the plastic pencil. They had the pencil, just, you know, wood or whatever. So I used the pencil, darkened up the brow. I gave it an arch underneath. I used Pearl cream color base to give it that just a little bit of highlight underneath the brow. Darkened in the crease area with some carbon. Took some carbon and just smoked it underneath here. Took Boot Black, lined the eye, applied lashes, gave her a contour. That was before MAC had contouring stuff. They didn't have shade stir and stuff like that. So I went back and I got a darker shade, contoured her face. I think it was called Fiery Flame or something. The blush, it was a really more intense red color because her came out beautiful on her brown skin. Darkened just a little bit, gave it more of a kiss of more redness on the cheek. Took the lipstick off, used Currant and Desire lipstick instead of Desire lip glass. Set that puppy with the Fix Plus, and I almost wanted to drench her face with the Fix Plus. Let that dry, sprayed her again, fan that, let that dry, sprayed her one more time, fanned it, let it dry, and her skin was flawless. Could not see a wrinkle, could not see a flaw. I beat that face to the gods. I beat that face to the gods. And that was my audition. From there, we went outside and we had our verbal audition. I think I did not have a portfolio. I didn't have anything. All I had was the recommendations from Mac Fox Hill, those letters of recommendation, my audition, and my knowledge of color, my knowledge of how to contour, my knowledge of every MAC product. I would come up with different scenarios. She asked me different scenario questions. What would you use? What would you do? Why would you use this? Why would you? And I had to know everything. I had to be on my game. I had studied. I knew the brush numbers. I knew how silicone acted on the skin. I knew what the Fix Plus was for. I knew what the loose powder, the setting powder was for. I knew the names of every eyeshadow that MAC carried at the time. I knew the names of them. I think it was maybe about 50 colors. I knew everything. And I lived and I breathed MAC for a month. Every day. Crammed all of it in. only person I really could practice on was myself. Again, I did not have a lot of female friends to practice on. I maybe had one, and it was just practice. I had a boyfriend at the time, so I would practice foundation on my boyfriend. He had the scarrings and stuff from acne and shaving and stuff, so I would practice concealing blemishes and stuff on my boyfriend at home and things like that. And I got the job. I think they were impressed by my knowledge of MAC, and they were impressed. I want to say that they were impressed that how I see color. A lot of my makeup looks and everything, I think I've said this in a video before, I love home and garden. I love flowers. I love cute things, architects and things, architectural things, and interior design. I took interior design classes and stuff before, but the shading of a rose, not a red rose, but like that pink rose where the tips of the pink, it's just dark pink right here, and how it fades into a nice light pink. I look at flowers and things like that, and I just picture, how can I transform that flower, that softness, that suppleness of the flower onto the face? So I have always seen things differently. A lot of people, you know, oh, I just want to use these bright colors and just be bold. No, not me. You know, I just look at my environment, look at nature, look at magazines, not even like Glamour and Nylon and Beauty, W or whatever beauty magazines. I look at Natural Geographic and Home and Garden, and I just look at how beautiful the colors of nature and stuff is, and I transform that onto the eye, and that's how I was able to get my gig for MAC. Going forward, MAC, working at MAC part-time, full-time, it was I don't like sales jobs, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna pressure you to buy a whole bunch of stuff, but after working there for a while, I saw the sales, the monster of the beast, the having to sell in threes. If someone came in for an old baby, and if they were brown skinned, it'd sell them a chestnut liner and a pencil sharpener and some sponges. You have to upsell them. If they were my complexion, don't sell them chestnut liners, sell them strip down liner and old baby and a pencil sharpener. And it was just like, oh my God, why do I have to upsell these people? They came in for one item. Can I just give them what they came in for? So that I'm not a salesperson. I am not, by any sense of the word, a salesperson. So I said, let me step back. I want the artistry of it all. So I stepped back. I was a freelance artist, and being able to be a freelance makeup artist for MAC opened numerous doors for me. That's when things started to kick off. I was able to build my resume, and I was able to become the professional makeup artist that I am after being a MAC freelance artist. I say that because as a freelancer, you're not locked into, I wasn't locked in no longer to just working at MAC Fox Hills. I love them. I was trained by Anthony and Daniel and Angel, and they taught me everything that I know. And then it was like, those are like the mama birds. Let me just let her go free now. And so I started working, freelancing at MAC Del Amo. I think I was under the tutorage of Stephanie. I ended up going from there to MAC Lakewood or MAC Cerritos, something like that, and I was under Brian, and they opened the MAC. That was before Del Amo had a standalone store or anything. So then after I worked there, I started building up my portfolio. I would beat my face, and I would want to like super shots or something like that in between on my lunch break, and I had them take pictures of me or whatever, and then I would build my portfolio of just me. This was way before, I think this was before camera phones or camera cell phones, so I couldn't take pictures of my clients and stuff while I was at the MAC store. Yeah, this is way back in the day. They would come in and they would ask me, do you have a business card? So I would, you know, I went to Vistaprint and made up these little business cards or whatever, and I started to build my clientele by just being a freelancer and doing makeup of the customers that came in, because they would ask me, are you going to be here on Tuesday? Are you going to be? I'm like, no, I'm just a freelancer. I'm only here for the week or the month or whatever. And like, oh, well, how do I get in touch with you in case I need you? And so I would give them my card, and I would build my clientele like that. It wasn't until I started freelancing under the tutorage of Seth at MAC Pro Robertson. That was a big step. It's hard to be Mac Pro. The celebrities, A-list, B-list, C-list, whatever, come in off the street, get their makeup done, look at product, the celebrity makeup artists, they're all coming to Mac Pro Robertson or Mac Beverly Hills. I freelanced there. That's how I was able to meet different celebrities, different celebrity makeup artists, and kind of build my clientele. I did the Viva Glam, I want to say Viva Glam 4 or something, 4 or 5, I don't remember. I was at Mac Beverly Hills next to Louis Vuitton, and I was able to meet David Hasselhoff, and I was able to do his makeup. I would do his makeup in Encino. It's a spa called Spa One or something like that. And I did his makeup there, or I would come and do his makeup for different occasions. And I kind of built my clientele, my celebrity clientele. And most of my celebrity clientele have always been men. Whatever. Trained by men, do men makeup, whatever. Now, then after I built my clientele, and I'm like, okay, makeup is cool. I was also in school, Loyola Marymount University, working on my my film and animation degree, and I was doing the editing for a student film. I'm like, why did y'all do they makeup like this? I can't edit this. This is terrible. So that kind of was like, okay, well, let me cut. We need to reshoot this. Let me do the makeup. And so from then is where I started doing movie makeup. So I started doing makeup for student films. And some of the student films, the actors and actresses, they weren't students at Loyola. You have to get actors and actresses or an audition and stuff. So I started, I think I did a news anchor, and that kind of opened the door for me. I did the girl from America's Next Top Model. I don't remember her name, but she was the girl where Tyra wanted to do that pixie cut on. And I guess it got too short for her or whatever, and she didn't agree, and she left. She left America's Next Top Model. She walked off, and I guess she was happy. She was a Texas girl or whatever. So I did her makeup. Bea Fablea, I think that's her stage name or something like that. I did her makeup. I did like special effects makeup, all for these student films, and was able to build my clientele by doing that. And Bea Fablea, she was, I did her makeup for Western Dental and different, you know, things like that. The directors or the teachers at LMU, they are actually actual Hollywood movie directors. So they would use me for their stuff. So I did like the Hedda Gabler film, and there's a commercial right now where I did the makeup for a commercial, a Geico commercial, and it was on the guy. So I do more men makeup than anything, because I'm not that beauty person. I do women's makeup, that's fine. I like doing the guys. It's real quick. But it's all about flawlessly natural skin, and that's a hard, we can talk about that in a different video, but that's hard to master. It's not easy. It's not. Don't think, oh, it's just me and makeup. No, flawlessly natural build up makeup to look flawless on red eye camera, on HD camera is hard. It is. Trust me, it's hard. And especially if they have flaws in their skin or wrinkles and stuff. And that stuff cake up in the crease. Oh, wait, save it for another video. So, yeah, I mastered that technique of contouring and things like that, especially on men, and knowing about 5 o'clock shadow and pimples and, okay, moving on. So, that's kind of just kicked it up a notch for me. I started doing runway. I do runway makeup in Las Vegas. I started Nephew Tommy, which is Steve Harvey's nephew. I think he had a jeans line or something, or I don't know. But I ended up doing makeup for fashion shows, runway shows. I did curvalations. I was a traveling makeup artist. I had my kit. I would just pop my little kit on the Greyhound and take the Greyhound all the way to Vegas and do makeup and take the Greyhound right on back. And it's fun. It is. I love what I do. Let's see. So that covered movies, student, runway, photo shoots. I was able to get photo shoot gigs by looking for photographers. That's how, you know, being because I was in school most of the time, I would just go over to the kids in the art building. Hey, you guys are shooting something, can I do makeup in exchange for portfolio negatives or printouts or whatever, and it's cool. You pay your dues. So I did a lot of dues paying to be a professional makeup artist. When you're doing the dues paying, yes, you're doing a lot of makeup for no charge, unless it is, if it's like photography, because no, mama charge. But if it's for like an exchange for goods of services, you know, photographer, do the makeup, then I get the photos back to add to my portfolio, so that helps me. That's not just me doing it for free or something. So that was pretty much all before YouTube. By the time YouTube came along, you know, I was in the whole natural hair thing. I wasn't even thinking about makeup and stuff on YouTube. I went to YouTube to look at music videos and natural hair. I remember the first natural hair person I looked at was Taryn Guy, then followed by Empress Ree. So I wasn't on YouTube for makeup or anything. I didn't think to do tutorials and stuff of makeup. I wasn't looking for it. I have never been the person to go to YouTube and look for tutorials. I get inspired by nature. So I wasn't going to YouTube for inspiration. When I started the whole YouTube beauty stuff, just to let you know about myself, I look at vlogs on YouTube. I love looking at vlogs from like It's Judy's Time and Natural 85 and things like that. I love looking at things like that, Gabe Flowers or the Gabe Fix or whatever. Love looking at those. But when it comes to beauty on YouTube, I don't look at too many tutorials. I love to let nature be my guiding influence. However, I love a good haul video. I can sit through a 40-50 minute haul video on some makeup just and be in heaven, like, ooh, she got that, I want to get that. Ooh, I wonder why she got that. So I love to look at reviews and hauls when it comes to makeup. I have never gotten my inspiration of like makeup in regards to like tutorials. Tutorials are nice, especially for people that are not professional makeup artists. As far as a viewer, that are not, and they want to learn how to use different things. You can pick up a lot of techniques if you're watching a video from someone that knows what they're doing and why they're doing it. Because, well, that's kind of a whole different video, my opinion on people that do makeup tutorials. But as far as a viewer, I think it's great that you can come to YouTube and look up different people and how they use things and why they use them. As far as the person that's actually filming the video, I have different opinions on those, so that's a different video. But that has been my professional makeup artist journey. Right now, I do a lot of beauty. I do want to advance more into special effects. I have always been inspired by Michael Jackson, The Making of Thriller, in regards to special effects makeup. That has been my inspiration whenever it's come to special effects makeup, is Michael Jackson, The Making of Thriller. That genius, that man was genius, and his team was genius. Wow. So if I ever decide to go to a school or anything, I have looked into them. Whoever has the best theatrical and special effects training classes or whatever, that will probably be the school that I would want to attend. In the future, I have always thought about getting a certificate as an esthetician. You know, that's kind of like skincare and things like that. But being a licensed makeup artist, it's hard to get a license. There's like no licensure or something out here. You have to be part of the makeup union, and I was going to be part of the makeup union until I saw how much it costs to be a member of the union. Are you serious? So no, I'm not a member of the Makeup Artists Guild Union, or whatever they call themselves. I think there's only like one out here in Hollywood. But no, I'm not a member. Professional makeup artist, yes. I have the W-2s to prove it from MAC. Yeah, so I've got my official training from MAC Fox Hills, my people, Anthony, Daniel Chinchillo, Celebrity Makeup, or Anthony and Daniel, Angel, Erica, Danielle, that's who I learned. That's where I learned. That's where it all started for me. It started at MAC. So hopefully this video completely answered your question. I know you may have gotten a lot more than what you asked for, but I wanted to be thorough and just tell you where I started and how I have progressed. So hopefully this information helped, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.